Now this is what legacy looks like.
You know, so it's like now you look at it, now you're in tech and you're only working just a tech job now and doing like your side business and helping people get into the tech industry.
Yep.
And then now you're making enough money. What would you say your combined income is for you and your wife now, today?
Between the two of us now, somewhere between 175, 200-ish, somewhere.
175 to 200,000.
Before we hop into today's show, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified every single time we drop a new video. Now let's jump into the show.
Welcome to the table, yeah, yeah. We gon' get real, we gon' get right. Oh, building up wealth, we gon' give life. Welcome to the table, wealth, yeah. Welcome to the table, build wealth, life. Welcome to the table.
Yo, Gio and Andre. Before we were recording, man, we had a real good conversation. And I learned a lot about you all that I really wanna dive into this, because I was sitting here and just doing some research before we got on the show. And one of my things that I'm really big on when it comes to my platform, as you all can see, is like, it's on my shirt, Black Legacy. And not just even Black Legacy, but even creating and building like your own table. And I think sometimes we fail to realize that how do we build legacy? One of the tools is income. How do we get that income? One of the tools to get our income is have a solid career. And you all honestly did some creative stuff in tech area that has produced income. Gio, you're 21. Andre, how old are you? 40? 40. Man, you 40, man. Brother don't look like you 40. Brother, he got swag for days, boy. You know what I'm saying? But I want to start with you, Gio, because I was shocked that you told me that you went to school, got your bachelor's degree in the medical space with the long-term goal of being a doctor.
Yeah.
But then you stopped and you said, nah, I want to get into tech. Take me back from the very beginning, brother, because I don't know too many 20, 21-year-olds who's going to stop pursuing being a physical doctor, you know what I'm saying, to get into the tech industry. Where did that come from? Like, where did the tech spark in you to leave becoming a doctor? Because let's be honest, it's not just about the money that people pursue the doctor. It's the fact that you can say you're Dr. Gio. You know, at 21, when you tell a girl, yeah, my name is Dr. Gio. You know what I'm saying? That just added a different swag to a young man's, you know what I'm saying? So help me understand, bro, why? Why did you go from doctor into the tech industry?
Well, the reason I started to be a doctor in the first place goes back to high school and just school in general. I was great at math and science. Okay. And when people see that about you, say, oh, bro, you should be a doctor. You should go into STEM. I was like, okay, that's what I do, because I like it because I'm good at it, and people will respect me because I'm good at it. So I went to school doing great grades, man, absolutely great grades throughout math and science. And then as I'm enjoying college, the senior year hits, I'm like, I can't do this again next year. And so I think about it. I say, you know, maybe it won't be that bad. And then this is literally May. It hits me in May. I'm like, man, I got to like find something to do a month from now, because I don't want to wait 10, 12 years to start making money, go through all these, I guess, general courses to finally focus on the field I want to focus on. There's so much, I just can't see a possibility where I would be happy in the end. And so the first thing you do is just look up, I guess, high-paying remote jobs online. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the first thing people do. And I got my Chinese on my hand. It's the start of May, and I find your video on YouTube. So I'm sitting here eating it, watching it. Literally, it's about 8 p.m. right now. It's very interesting because I'm gonna just be honest. The reason I clicked on your video and the reason I watched all the way through is because you're black, like me. And of course, I'm not saying that someone who's not black can't give you the same advice, but because you are black, I felt like you understand what I'd be going through, understand the world I live in. So I go in, I'm still hesitant about purchasing the course because that money is a lot for you as a college student who's working at Amazon. So you know what, I'm gonna wait on it. Literally, the next morning I wake up at 6 a.m., the first thing I did was buy course careers.
Are you serious?
The first thing I did was buy course careers.
You are in school, medical degree, and you buy course careers.
Yep.
Because you were fearful of graduating and not having any income.
That. I was afraid of the income. I was also afraid of starting on a path it would be hard for me to break off of, and I wouldn't enjoy.
I ain't never heard someone say pursuing a doctor degree and pursuing that process, I wouldn't enjoy it. And I wonder how many people are pursuing that knowing that they will not enjoy it, but they're still doing it. One, because of the income that looks good on the opposite side, but then two, because it just looks good, but internally they're not happy, you know? And while you were talking, I was looking up, just make sure I'm speaking factual information. I didn't know that the average doctor who graduates throughout the process, the average doctor graduates with over $200,000 in student loans.
Eesh.
The average doctor starts off making about $120 to $170 a year. But they went through about 9 years of school. So they're going to be in their late 20s, you know what I'm saying, to early 30s, graduating with about $200,000. This is not all, this is the average. So there's some who graduate with zero, depending on their circumstances. And then there's a lot who graduate with $500,000, depending on what kind of doctor you're trying to be. But you, how much, I'm curious, how much did you graduate with when it comes to student loans?
Zero.
Zero. You went to school for free.
Well, I mean, throughout scholarships, and then my dad was in the military, so there was a lot of benefits.
You got the GI Bill and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of benefits coming. So grateful for that.
Yeah. So parents set you up right.
They set me up right.
You were smart and you were stewarding your high school season right to where clearly you had good grades and stuff like that. Then you got the grant scholarships and follow GI Bill. Go to school. You're not borrowing any money, but then you're realizing like, yo, I could go down this path and I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, though. Let's have this conversation. How did your parents feel? How did your parents feel? Like, you know what, Mom? Mom, Dad, I don't want to be a doctor. I want to get into the tech world. Like, when you had that conversation with your parents, with loved ones, how did you feel about that?
Well, my dad had a feeling something was going on. I think just because he knows me and he's had a similar life growing up to where he didn't know what he wanted to do. So when I came to him, he said, okay, it's about time that, you know, I figured out what was really going on.
Okay.
But then with my mother, she's, you know, of course, telling people, okay, my son wants to be a doctor. This is something in the works since I was like, 13, 14, entering high school, all the way up to May, your senior year of college?
Yeah, Doc.
What?
Yeah, Doc.
Mom was heartbroken.
Heartbroken. So was the conversation easy with your mom, or was it a little difficult?
It was a difficult start. It was a very difficult start just because you're receiving information. I don't want to do what I've set out to do for the past 4 years of my life. And you're about to complete your degree. It's like, well, what's going to happen next? So why not? Why don't you want to do this? So start with lots of questions, which is very natural. But I do have a very understanding mother. Yeah. So after a day or two, we were able to talk things out. Well, what do you want to do now? I don't know. Well, why do you want to stop? Well, just because I don't want to wait all this time to make money. I don't know if I will be happy doing it, even though I'm good at it. After a conversation, they said, okay, well, you need to find something, and you need to come back to us and tell us what your plan is going to be.
I like that, boy. I like that, man. I think one part that I love about your story, and I want to get Andre's thoughts because he has 2 kids, and I'm curious to see as a father and with his amazing wife who's out in the lobby watching the show right now, how would they respond? But I think, isn't it funny that sometimes children follow the dreams that their parents kind of edged them to do? And we never really took the opportunity to ask our son and ask our daughter, okay, wait, not about me, not about your dad, what do you want to do? And then check in with them like 2 years later. Hey, what do you want to do? I'm curious because I want you to give us some practical things for the people right now. There are some people right now who are pursuing something and they know that's not what they really want to do, but they're scared to have that conversation. Maybe scared to have the conversation with their spouse. Maybe scared to have the conversation with their loved ones, their family members. What would you say is like the number one thing they should do to start that conversation with loved ones if they want to transition and they know it may hurt them a little bit? Like it hurt your mom and dad, but they got through it. It was your life. But what is one thing that you did to set up the conversation with your parents? I'm curious.
I think for people in my situation who want to talk to somebody they love about transition to something new, they need to set up a practical transition that they can explain to them. Because if you tell them the good news or the great news and you leave them on a cliffhanger, how do you think they're gonna feel? how do you think they're gonna feel? And so before I went full on, here's exactly how I feel, and here's what's gonna fall up afterwards. I said I gotta find something new. That's when I ran into your video with Cyrus. I saw Course Careers, did a lot of research on the boot camps and stuff. I decided this was the best one. And then after that, I told them the news. There was all that heartbreak and emotions and stuff. And then after that, I'm able to transition right into, but this is the next step.
That's good. And I think that's important, especially for married people.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know you and your wife went through not a similar transition, but y'all went through a transition period. I'm curious, man, talk to us about your transition, because I think transitioning is always hard.
Yes, it is.
You know, and I want to go back. What would you say because how old are your kids?
16 and 12.
16 and 12. So what does your 16-year-old want to do right now?
He's still figuring it out.
Okay, he is.
And that was part of our motivation for me and my wife going through our thing was we wanted to set our family up financially to where when our kids are this age, they have the freedom to explore.
Ooh, that's so
and then they have a safe place to land if it doesn't go well. Right? And so that was part of the motivation for us going through what we went through over the past 2 years. Just how do we get to something different? We need something different. I wasn't in a situation where, hey, I want to try something different. I was in a situation like, no, something has to change.
Oh, talk to me about that, though. When you say that, what do you mean by that? Because it's like, that's so good right there. Because I think a lot of people are in that position.
Yeah.
I need something to change. Like, it has to change. But they don't know how to start that change. And I think a lot of people get comfortable in, well, I'm used to needing to change, but why change? Like, I'm used to this season that I'm used to living paycheck to paycheck. I'm used to not being able to do the things I want to do with my kids. My kids are used to not being able to go to certain places. It's just a norm, so why even change when it's normal? But you and your wife was at a point where, like, nah, we got to change.
Yeah.
When did you realize it had to change?
About this time last year.
This time last year, so 2022.
Yeah. Well, I you know things need to change.
Right.
But I had reached a place personally where it was, if nothing changes, I literally might not be here.
Ooh.
Like, I was at the time that I decided to transition into tech, I was going through the darkest time of my life. It was depression. We share a similar faith. I've reached a place where, you know, the scripture says God will never leave us nor forsake us. I felt left and forsaken.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
And it seemed like everything I touched during that time. I have all these gifts and talents. Everybody outside knows how talented you are. And everything that you do is like during those 2 years, January 21 to January this year, it's like everything I touched would fall apart. And it's the most frustrating thing when you're trying to lead a family. Right? I'm the leader. I'm the head of the family. My wife is looking to me to be the leader. My kids are looking to me to be the leader. And during the pandemic, I'm naturally the big brother of the group. I'm the leader of the group. And when everyone comes to for content, for inspiration, those people very rarely have people that they go to for that.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, my best friend who was that for me, he passed away.
No.
And so on top of being broke, on top of feeling lost, my support guy that I had is gone. And now I'm working 2 full-time 40-hour-a-week jobs and doing DoorDash on the side, trying to provide for the family. As a man, I'm not confident in my ability to hear what God is asking me to do. I'm not confident in my ability to lead. And so that's leading to more friction within my marriage, because anything that my wife says to me about money sounds like you're not doing good enough. Because I'm projecting. Right?
And she wasn't doing that, though.
No.
She was just stating this is what we need.
Yeah. And then, of course, she's frustrated also, because money's one of the main reasons that marriages break up. Right. And so we're looking at it. I'm like, yo, I'm 40 years old now. I'm at the halfway point of my life, right? And nothing has gone the way I wanted it to. Wow. I'm looking at my kids. I'm looking at my oldest son. I'm like, dog, you'll be out of school soon, and I don't have anything set up, because everything I've been trying to set up is just falling apart.
Yeah.
And so I remember one day I had been up 48 hours straight from working both of my jobs and doing DoorDash. And I was in the car one day and I had a full mental breakdown. I just started screaming, God, I feel like, what am I doing wrong? And it was like when I reached that moment, a week later, I was at my second job and I saw your video with you and Cyrus. And when I saw that video, I texted to my wife and I texted to my dad and I said, this is the first time I felt hope since the beginning of the pandemic. Like, this is it.
There's so much we need to unpack. And I'm trying to be sensitive right here because, I mean, this is supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, to help y'all get into tech. But we got 3 men at the table in 3 different seasons of our life. A 20-year-old, I'm in my late 30s, and you're in your 40s. 2 single married people. But I think all of us at this table have felt like God abandoned us and left us hanging.
At one point, yeah.
At one point in life.
Yeah.
I think all of us at this table at one point in our life, we were depressed and confused about what are we going to do with our life moving forward. And it's like what I hear you all saying is God didn't show up when you wanted him, but he showed up right on time.
Man, he was there the whole time.
The whole time he was there.
I tell people I felt like I was holding on to my faith by my fingertips, but God was holding me firmly in his hands the whole time.
Yeah.
Now that I'm on the other side of it, I'm able to look back and there's so much clarity about what was going on during that time. And there's so much peace and there's so much joy because my relationship with him is so much tighter now because during that time period, when I felt like he had left me, what he taught me was, I just wanted you to be my baby again. You done got grown. You done known me for a while. You grown. You a provider of a family and all this stuff, and that's great. But ultimately, I'm the provider for your wife and your kids.
Yeah.
I just use you to do it.
Yeah.
And you've been carrying around the burden to do it on your own.
Right.
Because you're a man. But I honestly, as a father, just want you to be my baby. I had my youngest son. We had moved to a new area, and I was walking he had a school dance, a 6th grade dance.
Okay.
And I'm walking with him. I always hold his hand. We walk into the school, because we live real close to school. Walking to the school, and as soon as we got over the hill to where he see the kids, he took his hand out of my hand. He said, Daddy, I got it from here. Right? And as a father, it kind of messed me up, because like, we're not having no more kids. I'm like, that's my baby. Like, this might be the last time I held my baby's hand.
Right.
And it was like, during this season when God was teaching me, like, I just want you to be my baby again. He said, yo, that feeling that you got, I don't ever want to feel that with you.
Ooh.
But as a father, and I'm sure the parents out there can understand, you know, when you walk in the house, you hear the kids' footsteps. Daddy's home, or Daddy, come play with me, or Daddy, I just want to go here, or let me get on your back. Like, God always wants to be in that space with him. There's never a time we're supposed to grow past that.
Fact.
Now with our children, we go through transitions.
Right.
Babies to now I got to train them to be men, and then I just trust them to go be men.
Exactly.
Guys, like I never created you to have the independence from me.
Yeah.
Right?
Fact.
And so during that time, he was teaching me, not only do I love you, I have you.
Yeah.
I like being with you.
Yeah.
And so now at this position where we are, on the way here, I was just like blown away because this is one of the things I asked God if I could have. Like I said, I want to go on AO's show and share the story of how you changed my life with that. I wanted to go on Course Careers and do an interview there.
Yeah.
I did that. Yeah. It's like all the things that I was asking for during that time. It's like God was like, hey, remember when you was in that car and you was having a meltdown? I was listening.
When you was going through that meltdown, I'm curious. And when you, Gio, were in your dorm room or at home with your parents, thinking like, okay, what's next? Like, I'm tired. I'm scared of this next season. God, I have to change this season. And I think yours is going to be a little different from ours because we're single. We're not worrying about another life. That's not another life. We're not worried about 3 other lives, your spouse and 2 other kids. How did you leave that car how I'm trying to say this? How did you leave the car and go into that home and you were peaceful. Because some people, when they break down like that, bro, they bring that into their homes, into their families. And I don't know if you did or you didn't, but what was the things that got you through that season from a practical standpoint? So we understand that the spiritual walk with God and God, hearing from God, but what were some of the practical things that you and your wife maybe had to talk about? How did you address that so you can move on from that place?
I'll be honest and say I really didn't.
Okay.
Like, I was just so used to just getting up and going. And that's something I would say I wouldn't advise. You know what I mean? I would advise you to communicate better with your spouse. Me and my wife, we didn't communicate. We were at that point, we're in go mode.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. She's in school, I'm over here. I don't want to bring that to her because she's focused on what she's going through right now.
Facts.
Right? And so even as the leader, even though I'm going through it, I don't want to put that on her because I want her to be able to excel at what she's doing.
Yeah.
Right? And so, honestly, we are just now getting to a point where we're able to kind of communicate through what we were going through during that time.
That's good.
And be on the same page. I told her the other day, I'm like, yo, we work great together as a team. And so we'll do things like when we go, or if we go over the budget together, I'll give her a dap and be like, that's my teammate. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like now God is putting us on the same page for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's still a transition. It's still new. Like I told somebody the other day, like, how does it feel to be in the tech now? And there's so many things I have now that I didn't have for so long. I've worked a second job or a side hustle or something like that for my youngest son's entire life. He'll be 13 next year.
And you've always had.
I've always had something. I've always had something. This is the first time I've had a position at one job that can take care of everything I need, and then I have the freedom to do the things I love to do on the side.
But see, here's the thing that oh my gosh, boy, I'm trying to control myself. But I think you're speaking for the majority of people who look like us at the table. Because what you just said, I don't remember my mom only having one job. I don't remember my mom ever coming home when she got off of work and not going back out and working another job. But even working 2 and 3 jobs, we were still struggling.
Yeah, that was the most frustrating part.
Paycheck to paycheck.
That's the most frustrating part.
And when I got older, I was like, wait a minute. Why am I pursuing this and it's not going to bring me the lifestyle, the joy, and the peace that I desire? For
sure.
If I go to, I'm still going to have to work 2 jobs. I'm still going to graduate, have all this drowning. I'm drowning in all this debt. I'm not even happy, so I got debt. I'm not even happy, and I still got to get another job.
Imagine having all that and having a wife and 2 kids.
Bro, but that's what I'm saying. My mom had a husband, 3 kids, and an elderly mother that she had to take care of.
Yeah.
We had a 3-bedroom house. Me and my 2 siblings slept in one room. Grandmama slept in another room. Mom and Dad slept in another room. It was only a 1,200 square foot house. And I mean, I would come home. My mama don't work. She always been in education. So she's always been in the school system. But my mama don't work for the Christian Berean Bible bookstore. She didn't work from Kmart when they were around. My mama don't work for Target. My dad was delivering newspapers at 1 o'clock in the morning, would knock me upside my head to come help him deliver newspapers. Like every time I look at my parents, they always had more than 2 jobs. And I'm like you, Gio. I'm like, nah, that ain't the life for me. Like, I don't want to do that. So it's like, we got to start looking at, which is why I just love the tech field, because there are several careers out there, and it goes back to building Black legacy, you guys. It's like, ooh, I don't want to knock people who are working 2, 3 jobs, working 2 40-hour jobs, because I believe some of you all are doing what you got to do to survive. But at some point in your life, you got to start moving smart. And you have to start looking at, okay, what's the best route for me to build legacy? And you're not building legacy if you're working 2 or 3 jobs just to survive, because you're not passing down legacy.
Absolutely.
You can't build legacy if you can't walk your son to school and hold his hand.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't build legacy if you can't walk your daughter to school. You can't build legacy if you a brother. I'm talking to the brothers today. You can't build legacy if you can't take your own daughter out on her own first date.
Yeah, for sure.
But if we're thinking about, oh, I gotta work, I gotta grind, I'm putting food on the table, that's not building legacy. And I think at some point, which is a great transition into this conversation, we gotta start looking at what's the best career field and what's the best opportunity for us to start making money, so that way I can come home, you can be with your wife, y'all can continue to build y'all's partnership and teammate and intimacy and love, because that's your forever. Your kids gonna leave you. They ain't gonna wanna hold your hand at 2021.
They got to get out.
They got to go.
They got to get enough room for 3 months. They can stay here for a little while, but eventually they got to go.
Listen, they can be like, they can be like 20. Hey, you got a plan? Yes, sir, I do got a plan.
That was our goal. Okay. Like we wanted to position ourselves so that when my son, who's 16 now, when he does figure out what he wants to do, he has that. You know what I mean? He has a safe place to land. Has a place where he can go out and fail and then not kill himself. You know what I'm saying? For most of us, we grew up in places where it was like, when it was time to get out, it's either sink or swim. We didn't have a place to come back to and be like, well, you know, mama and them are doing well enough financially to where they could take care of us if we need to. You know what I mean? And we wanted to put ourselves in that position so we could do that.
Man, that's so good. So tech is the career field that's positioning you all to really start building legacy. Gio, you left a very promising career field that is highly respected, that people are dying to be in, and you jumped into tech. Let's talk about that. When you transitioned, you took course careers. How long was that program for you? How long did it take you to get through the whole course careers program?
I mean, shoot, on top of school, that's like all I was thinking about. So, I mean, I think I bought the course May 4th. Okay. Finished it June 12th. So a little bit over a month there.
1 month. Wait. And then did you just say that you were still actually in school, like traditional school?
Oh, yeah. I still had exams going on.
So, whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gio. This is your senior year?
My senior year.
So your senior year, you're doing stuff, your classes are in the medical field. So you're taking exams in the medical situation and doing course careers? Gio, you okay? How was that, bro? Because course careers, it's not super easy and it's not super hard. You still got to be intentional and learn. But you're doing that and, you were dedicated, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You were dedicated. Where'd you graduate? Did you graduate still with good grades?
Yeah, I actually graduated. I had summer classes as well. So I had finished course careers, started my job in tech, and was still in school.
Oh, wow.
So I graduated in August.
Graduated in August. While working in tech. Knowing that you're not going to pursue the medical situation.
Yep.
But which was smart, though, because you didn't want to waste those 4 years.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that part. So finish that degree. You're already at the finish line. Let me just cross over, got that degree. But God bless y'all, I'm done with this. I'm pursuing tech. What attracted you to the tech industry?
I want to say the opportunities, the fact that it's all people talk about, tech this, tech that, everything's moving to the cloud. I don't even know what half this stuff means. I really don't know what it means. But they keep talking about tech. There's money in tech. You don't even have to be, I think when I watched your podcast with Cyrus, it was like, you don't even have to be technical. You don't have to code. I'm like, bro, you can be an artist and say you in tech? like what? Like you can literally do everything you normally do in another job and find a way to transition it into tech. I said, oh yeah, I can be picky. I can choose what I want to do. Let me try tech.
Man, listen, what made you think about going into tech? Because you was working 2.5 jobs full time. What made you say, okay, this is the career that can position me to start building legacy to where when my sons are ready to talk about their future, me and my wife can be in a position to have that conversation and we're not scared of the financial part of it?
What's crazy is when I had that meltdown, the next day I called about 9 or 10 friends of mine. Okay. And I said, what are some, I believe God gives all of us superpowers. Right. Things that only you have. So what's some things I do naturally? That when I walk in the room, I do those naturally. Right. And when I asked my wife, she was like, you do tech stuff. Like, you're good at tech. Like, you like to be on computers and stuff like that. She was like, maybe you should go back to school. At the time, I'm like, when am I going to go back to school?
I'm working 2.5 jobs.
I need something to get me money now. I don't have anything that I can wait 3-4 years and hope I got. I need something to get money next week.
Right.
And so after we had that conversation, there was a few other things that my friends told me, like, you do well. I asked God, like, yo, you said your gifts will make room for you. I need that to happen. Because right now I feel like I'm just existing. And when I saw your video with Cyrus, it was in tech. So I'm like, that checks one check mark.
Yeah.
It was other things that he was talking about he did it in his career. I'm like, those are on the list also.
Yeah.
So it was like literally like God was like, duh.
Yeah.
This is it, right? And so for me it was a no-brainer. Like, let's go ahead and jump into it. I didn't mind. I didn't want to have to take the time to learn how to code and do anything. So I'm like, what's the fastest way I can get in?
Yep.
Once I get in, I can scale and go wherever I want.
Facts.
I just need to get my foot in the door.
Facts.
And so when I saw the opportunity to do course careers for what it was, I was like, oh, I'm doing this.
You know, there's over 9 million jobs currently right now in the United States of America that are open in the tech industry.
It's money out here.
And watch this.
It's money
Over
out here.
half of them will go unfulfilled this year.
It's money out here.
What?
Yeah. 9 million. Is this mic on? Hello? 9 million jobs are available in the tech industry right now in the United States. And over half of them will not be filled this year. This is why I'm so passionate about course careers, because when I look at course careers, I actually love them so much that I actually called the owner of the company and said, yo, can I invest money into, like, I want to have ownership of this company because, you know, I wrote the book, student debt-free degree on how to graduate college without no debt. And inside the book, I talk about, hey, there are some routes and there are some avenues where a 4-year traditional degree is needed. Doctor, lawyer. Yeah, absolutely. I don't want you to go to the 9-month program to learn how to defend me. Now, I need you to spend
right.
in that. I don't want you to go to a 9-month program or a 1-month program to learn how to operate on my brain. Nah, brother, that's 10 years in that area.
Right.
And even when you graduate school, I need you to go just watch for another 2-3 years, help another doctor out before
Absolutely.
you're working on my brain and my back. No. But there's some other stuff that I'm like, wait, but do I really need to spend 4 years to learn how to use my hands when I'm already using my hands?
Exactly.
Do I need to learn, do I need to go to school 4 years to learn how to, you know, sell tech, sell iPhones, sell the cloud service? Do I need to go to a 4-year school to learn how to learn how to do welding, how to cut hair? No. And so when I got their information, man, I did a lot of research on course careers because I want to make sure that I'm positioning my people to win. And when they told me, yeah, it's only $450, I was like, what? And it's a self-paced program certificate. I'm like, okay, are people really getting jobs? So I started doing the research. I'm like, okay. I did that one show with Cyrus just to see, you know, if people respond to it. And I mean, just from that one video that we did, up until now, we probably had about 3,000 people from my community go through course careers. Sheesh. Out of the 3,000, I'm gonna be honest with you all, I think about maybe 70% of them have secured jobs in the tech industry. Out of those 70%, I love being transparent, about maybe, I think it's like close to 18% of them have either quit or been laid off. And when I just do my research on the people who quit or got laid off, it wasn't hard for them to transition and get into another tech industry because we clearly see, not in the industry, but another tech job, because we clearly see that 9 million jobs are available in the tech space. Gio, just recently, your company shut down and you transitioned back out to where you're not working in tech right now. And I want to be transparent with the people. When you got laid off from your current job, did that scare you to operate in the tech industry still?
No, not at all.
So you're not thinking about going back to the medical field. You're still rocking in the tech world.
No, I'm still in tech. Still gonna be in tech.
Do you believe course careers has really strengthened your skill set, your mindset, and your capabilities to operate inside of the tech industry right now?
100%.
Why would you say that? I'm curious.
There is so much. It's a proven formula And there's two things that course careers will drill into your head.
Okay.
All you need to get a job in tech
Hold on, let me write this
is
down.
the skills to get the job.
Okay.
And the ability to tell recruiters that you have the skills to get the job. I'm so serious. That is
Wait,
it.
hold on. That sounds like the same thing. What's number 2 again? So number 1 is you got to show you have the skills to get the job.
You get the skills.
Okay.
And you find a way to express to recruiters, I have those skills.
Oh, okay, I got you. So number 1 is you got to get the skills. You got to have the skills to get it. And then number 2 is you got to figure out how to communicate with the recruiter, I have the skills.
Yep.
What do you think is harder, getting the skills or communicating to the recruiter that I actually have the skills?
Communicating to the recruiter, by far.
Is it?
By far.
How is that harder, though? I'm confused. I would think learning the skill is hard. But y'all are saying, well, course careers is doing, that's easy. It's communicating to that person on the other side of the phone that I can get the job done.
I think Andre can relate to this, but when you're searching for a job, you're competing against people who are leaning on their marketing degree or their psychology degree. And so they don't think, I don't have to express my experience. I don't have to find a way to apply sales in my everyday life, whatever your tech expertise is. But when you don't have any experience, when you don't have a degree or your degree is completely irrelevant, you have to find a way. I mean, I just graduated from the course like a month before I got my job.
Right.
How in 1 month am I going to tell people I'm prepared to work in sales?
Right.
And from there, I would literally just drill it in my head and be fully immersed like every day I'm finding a way to apply sales. I think one thing that impressed the recruiter when I got my job, I told him, I know my numbers. I need 10 applications to get 1 interview on average. I need 5 first-round interviews to get to a second-round interview on average. Who else is doing that? I mean, who else is actually applying the skill that they learned to get a job?
Boy, that G.O. boy, I'm trying to tell y'all, ladies, he's single. That brother's single, brother. Put that close up on him. Let him see it. That man's single. He's 21 with no debt. No debt. Oh my gosh! I just got a camera. Which camera is this? Is this one right here? I think this one right here. That man's single with no debt, and he got that bag on him too. You know what I'm saying? That man's back. Do y'all believe? Not do y'all believe? Because this is good. We've never talked about this. Course career teaches that you need to get the skill to get the job. Then you also need to have skills to communicate to the recruiter that you have the skills to actually do the job. Would you say if I come into course careers with absolutely no experience? I've never sold anything. I don't know what tech is. I'm in school to be a school teacher, but I hear about course careers. I'm watching this right now, and I know that school teachers, which are needed, but on average, they're going to make in between $45,000 to about $65,000 a year starting off when they first get into it. Heck, depending on the state, you may be in the mid-30s to high 30s, depending on the state that you're in. But they're watching this, and I have no experience. I've never sold anything. I don't know nothing about tech. Heck, I can barely use my phone. And you're telling me that course careers for $450 is going to teach me how to get into the tech industry, how to, 1, get the skill, and then also communicate to the recruiters that I have the skill? Is it difficult? Like, am I going to feel overwhelmed?
No. No. I'm also privileged to be a course careers coach.
Are you?
So I help students with this every day.
Okay.
And so the biggest thing is just course careers is going to over prepare you for the position. Right? They're going to help you with everything. Your resume is going to look like a professional tech, whatever the course you decide to take. I did tech sales.
So wait, course careers is going to help me with my resume too?
Yep. They're going to help you with your resume and make it look like one who's tailor fit for that position that you're looking for.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Now, am I changing the resume every single time for different jobs? So if I'm applying for 10 jobs, am I changing the resume per job?
I would give you an insider hack and say you should.
Okay.
And the reason why is because these companies have AI on the back end,
right?
Which is looking for certain keywords. And so if your resume is going there and it doesn't have those keywords, they're not even pulling it, right? And so I usually teach my students something. Go ahead.
We need to repeat that. I don't know.
Okay.
You could do like a quick rewind. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you just said something I think is key. they're using AI. And if you don't have certain words on your resume is gonna go to the trash. So if you're reduplicating your resume for all the 10 things, I'm telling y'all right now, just from hearing from what he said, don't do that. Because you're absolutely right. When people start applying for jobs for us, if they didn't have certain skill sets on the resume or certain words on the resume, it was like, nah, we're good. Because we're looking for these specific things. And so if AI is reading your resume before a human being and you're wondering why, hey, I'm qualified, how come I didn't get a call? It's because you didn't present yourself correctly on paper.
Right. You tailor fit their resume for that job. Oh my gosh, bro. And so you should learn how to use AI.
So you should learn how to use AI. I'm going to do a whole show on AI. I need to bring in an AI expert.
Yeah, for sure.
Who can teach us how to use AI. Because I'm still learning how to use AI. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my team is already using AI to edit videos and stuff like that. I'm like, I thought I paid you to edit the video. I'm like, y'all in here getting this check, it ain't working. You know? No, I'm loving it though, because we're able to do more with AI. And so, man, that is awesome. All right, keep going. I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but I just needed people to really hear that. If you're going to win, not just even in the tech industry, period. If you're applying for any jobs, you need to be specific to that job. And you know what? Is there a way, and I don't know if it's true, I'm asking. I haven't had to apply for a job in years, but it's like, is there a way to find out what words they are looking for to put on your resume?
One thing I did is I had my resume that Course Careers gave me.
Okay.
And anytime that I had a job I wanted to apply for, I would go to something like ChatGPT.
Okay.
And I'd say, here's my resume, rewrite my resume to fit this job description. And so it would tweak little things. It wouldn't, it wouldn't completely rewrite my resume, but it would tweak it and make it specific for that job. Wow. Right? And so it's not, of course, AI is AI. You still got to go and read and make sure everything's straight. But it makes you look presentable for that particular job.
So Course Careers gave you a resume, which, again, you guys, Course Careers is only $450. If you use our code, it's like $400 to take $50 off. It's a 1-month program if you're doing it on your own. I've had people complete it in like 2 weeks. Then I've had people take 3 months to do it because it's self-paced. But Course Careers is not only going to give you the skills to get the job done, they're going to also give you a resume that lets them know, let the people know, hey, this person is qualified on paper. They're going to also teach you how to convince the recruiter that you have the skills to get it done. Do they tell you what to say on these interviews? Let's say if you land an interview, your resume gets through, you get your first interview. Did they teach you, Gio, what to say on those interviews to get you to that next interview? Oh, yeah.
I mean, they literally grab your hand and go through the entire process 3 times.
Wow. One thing I like about Course Careers, I'm investing in Course Careers, people's like, well, how are they making their money? Let me tell you how they make their money. Because they want to educate you. They make money by helping you get a job. If you get a job through Course Careers, that's how they make their money, is by making sure that you are qualified and trained enough to honestly get there and win. And I'm like, wow. So I literally, I cut them a large check because I wanted to be a part of something that's helping people get into a career field that pays them a lot of money. Because a lot of people don't understand this, man. The average net worth millionaire doesn't make $1 million a year.
Thanks.
Come here. Come here. The average net worth millionaire doesn't even make 6 figures a year. The average net worth millionaire on average makes in between $75,000 to $95,000 a year. But what they're doing with that $75,000 to $95,000 a year is they're investing 15%. They're living way below their means. They're paying off their debt and not borrowing much money. And when I started looking at some of the career fields that are creating these net worth millionaires, school teachers are one of them, accountings are one of them, and then the tech industry. that the tech industry is one of the leading careers who are creating net worth millionaires because they are making a good amount of money, and they're taking that money, eliminating debt, they're taking that money, starting a side business, they're taking that money and investing the money. And then what I loved about when I looked into the tech industry is, I think it's like close to 70% of the jobs, you work from home. So it was like, now, not only am I making money to build legacy, but now I could practically build legacy because now I'm home with my kids when they get home. I'm home with my wife when she comes home if she's not into tech. So I can maybe during lunch hour, instead of for me going out to McDonald's to eat, I can go to the kitchen and eat with my wife. So now, I don't know. See, now, lunch break.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Hey, a kid makes it home like, what happened? Your mama pregnant again, boy. I'm just being real, boy. Like, what? Yeah. Lunch break would look different if I was married and Jesus, I pray my wife has a job and she leave. No, I don't. I'm just playing. I want my wife. But I'm just saying, it's like when I get excited about the tech industry because I'm just seeing how it's impacting all people. But when I look at people of color like you all, talking about you was working 2.5 jobs, weren't able to really do things with the family. Working that amount, that means, unfortunately, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that means you and your wife's relationship was kind of, at odds for a little bit because she's in school, you're working to maintain the family, she's probably taking lead on a lot of kid stuff because you're trying to provide for the family. So that's causing friction, and she's probably saying, hey, I like the money, but where's my husband at? Where's my partner at? We ain't there. So it's like, now you look at it, now you're in tech and you're only working just a tech job now and doing like your side business and helping people get into the tech industry.
Yep.
And then now you're making enough money. What would you say your combined income is for you and your wife now, today?
Between the two of us now, somewhere between 175, 200-ish, somewhere.
175 to 200,000?
Yeah, it would be somewhere around there.
Okay. Black man. Your wife is black too.
Absolutely.
Okay, I just want to know this right here.
Absolutely.
Because we do understand, just so y'all know the numbers, here are the numbers, man. The average household income is right at about $70,000. Only 34% of household families in the black community make over, not in the black community, out of all homes, only 34% of all homes make over $100,000 of income. You're not in that statistic anymore. It's like, you're like, yo, we're at 200,000.
It's so weird too.
You know what I'm saying? Like 200,000. I'm gonna make sure y'all understand this. 200,000 means you're seeing bare minimum about 16 to 20 grand gross a month. Net, because they're married with kids, they should be seeing anywhere between like $13,000 to $16,000, $12,000 to $16,000, depending on how they're filing their taxes and stuff like that. Net family. That changes the dynamic of a black family tremendously when you have that much money coming in. There's freedom, and I don't want to say freedom, there's opportunities there that your kids will have that other kids do not have because you are willing to get into the tech industry. And do you work from home?
Yes.
Okay, this is, boy.
Yeah.
Boy. And your wife is a nurse?
Yes.
Boy. She be coming home? No, never mind. I'm like, hey, babe, you coming home for lunch today? How do you feel before this season? What would you say y'all were making a year? So during 2021, 2022.
Combined?
Combined.
Probably about 60.
Whoa.
Yeah.
60K combined incomes.
Yeah.
And in less than 1 year, you went to 175 to 200K.
Yeah. What's crazy is I graduated course careers, and I got my certificate from course careers the morning my wife got her graduated nursing school.
What?
God is good. Yep. I got my certificate when that morning she walked and got her degree that night, and it's been different.
That's a $115,000 gap in 1 year. This has nothing to do with tech, but it has everything to do with tech. You all had a game plan. You all had a strategy. You all said, all right, babe, you go to nursing school. This is the strategy for you. I'm going to continue working these 2 jobs, but I'm going to take course careers. The game plan is, the strategy is, by the time we get done with this, we should be making more than 6 figures. So for a season, we're going to struggle, but the struggle is worth the struggle because there will be an ROI at the end of that struggle. And I think a lot of people in the Black community, we're so used to struggling with no ROI. And it's like, for me, I don't mind you working 2.5 jobs, but what's the ROI at the end of that? And if you're working 2.5 jobs and it becomes normal for 10 years, that is whack. What y'all did was, babe, we gonna bust our butts for a year. How long was her program?
1 year.
1 year?
Yeah, yeah.
Your wife became a nurse in 1 year? Yeah,
she got accepted into an accelerated program. And so it was a 4-year program, all condensed down to 1 year. And so it wasn't like, you talk about the game plan, like we came up with a game plan and said, we're going to do this. Like, no, that opportunity she got came out of nowhere. And so it was almost like, yo, I got a chance to do this. We have to get it done.
Right.
And it was like, all right, now I got to go do everything.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't really an easy transition. It was like God forced us to, this is changing now.
Facts.
Right. And then we've been, stuff like that happens and it's turmoil. You know, it's like trying to get a plane off the ground.
Yeah.
And so we spent time just trying to get the plane level, you know what I mean? And now we're getting to a place to where we feel like, all right, things are kind of leveling, but we don't want to take our foot off the gas. Yeah. We finally got to a place we've been praying to get to for a while. So it's like the prayer now is, I don't want to squander this.
Right.
And how do we excel it?
Yeah.
Right. Because we serve a God who doesn't just, he makes dead situations alive.
Right.
Right. And that was me. Like my situation was dead.
Yeah.
And God, it's alive. All right, cool. If it's alive, let's make it run. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's different.
It's amazing.
It's different.
What's next for y'all? So, Gio, you are, you're in the middle of a transition. You know, you are putting yourself back on the market because you just recently got laid off in the tech industry, and you're saying, no, I'm still not going back to the medical world. I'm going to stick in the tech industry. So what would you say? Because I think some people would love to hear, like, what's your thought process right now? What is your thought process? What's next for Gio in this season?
I'm gonna be honest. At first, it was very overwhelming. Not for the stress, but for the fact is, like, I stopped working the next Monday. I just went for a run at like 10 a.m. I'm like, it's 10 a.m. I'll be working right now. I really could just get another job in tech right now if I wanted to. Yeah. So now it's like, I can really do what I want to right now. If I want to go back into specifically selling software, I can do that. I want to sell network security, I can do that. It's like, man, I can act a little bit bougie now with what I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, bougie. That's what course career lets you do. It gives you a formula that's repeated and works. Yeah. And once you do it that first time, you can apply it to anywhere else that you want to go. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious why you was making this money in tech, because you was making good money. Did you save some of that? Did you set aside some of it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wasn't the type of person to really go out and splurge, and I'm at home, so I just had nothing to buy, really. So I was just sitting there saving up money.
Put his camera back on him. This brother right here, y'all, he's single. And he had good money mindset. He is saving money, ladies. Oh my gosh. At 21, bro, I want to take my hats off to you, bro.
Thank you.
I wasn't thinking like you at 21. I wasn't thinking like, all right, man, let me make the best decision for me in my life. At 21, I'm in your shoes. Now, I'm about to be a doctor. You know what that is? I'm not thinking, what is the best thing for me long term? You know? And then if I'm making $100,000 for a few months, you know, at 21, I ain't thinking about stacking that, bro. I was buying the cars. I was buying the wheels, man. You're the same age, man. I mean, you remember them spinner wheels back in the day? You know what I'm saying? When you stopped the car, they still kept spinning.
They kept going.
But I was buying spinner wheels. I had 212s with a 1,000-watt amp in the back of my joint. Bro, I'm balling that. At your age, and I wasn't even making, I think I was making like $10, $11 an hour at that time. So I wasn't even balling making, you know, your kind of money at 21. I might have like, bro, I'm rich. Then I got $28,000 a year. You know, I'm pulling up in it, what? And I'll stop. I remember that I saw this chick, boy, she was so bad, boy, back in them days, boy. She was on the beach. I lived in Oceanside, California. She was walking. I saw her throughout the side of my eye. I said, ooh. I sped up so the wheels can get fast. So back around, smash my brakes, and the wheels are still going. She looking at me like, hey.
Oh, my God.
So I'm at 21, I wasn't thinking like you. I wasn't thinking, let me stack this money. I wasn't thinking, you know what, wait, what's best for my life? What do I really feel fulfilled doing? I wasn't thinking, let me tell my mom and dad, like, hey, here's the transition. I don't want to do this, but this is what I'm going to do. Man, I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to have the ladies. I wanted to be popular, and I just wanted to look like I had a lot of money but be broke. And so I just want to encourage you, my brother, man, like your future is bright, man.
Super.
You know what I'm saying? Your future is super bright. And just to see you at peace in this season, saying, you know what, I'm going to enjoy this off season for a little bit. I got the money in the savings account, you know what I'm saying? I'm staying with my parents right now. But you know what, before I get back into the job and move and do my own thing, I'm just going to enjoy this season. Because I hear you're a family man. You was talking about how you just want to be around your family and stuff like that. That's a good trait. Because at 21, I wasn't trying to be around my mom and daddy. I was trying. I'll just keep it real. I was trying to be somebody's mama or daddy. I'm just being honest. Can I just be real? I was just trying to be somebody's daddy. You know? I wasn't thinking right at 21. Put it in the comment section if at 21 you were thinking like me. Come on, let's be real. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want to encourage you, because it's sad that it took me almost 10 years in my 30s to start thinking like you. And that's why I just want to take some time and say, like, brother, you got a bright future. And don't let these ladies, don't let this world, don't let circumstances derail you from the mindset you have right now. Because you will be a millionaire by 31. You will be impactful in making and helping a lot of lives here soon. And I just believe, I don't know your faith, but I just believe God is going to use you tremendously to not just make money, but to impact the world and impact the tech space. Because I don't know too many people who's going to leave a career field who has a clear path to do that and the intelligence to go pursue something that is not as sexy on the outside. But I would definitely say there are more people making 6 figures with no debt in tech than they are in the medical field. But I'm not gonna get it twisted. We need more doctors, especially black doctors. Let's be real on that part. But I think we need more doctors who want to be doctors. Because we can tell the people, I remember I had a nurse, man, she came up to me and when I was sick, it was about 5 years ago, and I stayed overnight. She didn't want to be a nurse. I heard her on the phone. I was like, I'm tired of this. I'm ready to go. These people are overworking me and underpaying me. And I'm sitting in bed like, don't come up in here with that. Don't come put no needle in me and you want to be here because you ain't going to do it right.
Right.
You know? And you can tell the difference between people who want to do it, who love doing it, and people who do not want to do it. They're only doing it for a paycheck. And so the fact that you said, hey, listen, I respect that field. I just don't have love for it. Yeah, man, you shouldn't be in it. You know? And I just want to commend both of you all and thank you both for coming on the show and really just sharing that, man. I think this was a little bit of a deliverance show plus tech show.
For sure.
You know, because I think all of us, man, I mean, that's why I see a therapist. You know, I'm attacked on... I'm attacked every single week. I'm attacked for something. Something that I say on my show that well, sometimes I know I should say things better. But then a lot of times it's not. I'm attacked all the time. And so sometimes I do feel like God just abandoned me. Like, God, you know my heart. Why are you letting this happen? And sometimes I got to go back and just honestly sit in my office, sit in my bedroom, and I cry, and I have those conversations, and I get on the phone with my mentor and with my therapist, you know. And so I just want to tell everybody, man, number one, nothing related with tech, but if you're feeling that, listen to what Andre said. He was there all the time. God's never left us. He's never ever not been there. What I've learned, Andre, is I'm like you. God is always talking. The problem is, are we in a position to hear his voice clearly? And sometimes we've put our girlfriend, sometimes you put your husband, your boyfriend, the world's ears before them. You're saying, well, how come God ain't talking? No. God is talking, but are you in his word? Have you silenced the outside noise? Have you put yourself in a position to where you can clearly hear from God? You know, and I'm like, and what I've learned is when I can't hear his voice, it lets me know I have too many people in my ears and I need to distract. That's why every July I turn off. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm done. I don't talk to my team unless it's an important situation. I don't really want to talk to my mom and my dad and my family. I turn off social media and I just get in tune to where I can hear God clearer because when I start saying, God, you ain't talking, I'm like, wait a minute. That just means I'm not really listening because God is always giving me a clear direction because his word doesn't lead you astray.
Right.
And so I can tell when I haven't been in my word or not a lot. I could tell when I haven't been to church a lot. I could tell when I need to get myself checked because if I'm looking for direction, if I'm confused, that's not God. And so, man, I just want to encourage you all. If you're in that place, maybe you need to unplug from social media. Maybe you need to unplug from friends and certain friends. I had Mike Todd on the show, Pastor Mike Todd on the show here recently. He said something that was so good. He said, man, when I get away, I get away. He says only two people who have contacted me, his wife and his accountability partner. His staff doesn't have contact. They don't even have his number. He leaves his cell phone at home when he goes away for a month. And he takes a track phone. And that track phone is only for his wife and for his accountability partner. And I was like, wow, that's a whole nother level of really getting clear to hear from God. Because sometimes you'll want to pick up the phone, see what's going on social media. You'll want to pick up the phone and talk to your teammates and them sharing their concerns about certain things. And at some point in our lives, we got to learn how to turn off everything. And man, he even said sometimes he'll go and he won't talk to his wife for a couple of weeks. I'm like, ooh. I mean, married? No sex? Jesus. There's a whole nother level though. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother level. But I think that's why his ministry is so blessed. It's because he's willing to go to that level to hear super clear. And I did that for the first time this year, man. I went away. And I didn't talk to my team. I didn't talk to my family. I talked to nobody. I didn't even have an accountability partner. I was just sitting up, waking up, looking at the water, praying, reading. Even when I went out there to play golf, man, I was like, God, just talk to me while I'm hitting the golf ball. And it's so funny how I played the best round of golf that time.
Wow.
I shot at 81, never shot at 81 ever in my life, and I've never shot at 81 since then. But while I was on the golf course, I don't know why I'm going here. Spirit taking me here. But it's like while I was on the golf course, the God taught me tempo. He taught me patience. He taught me stop getting frustrated. Because when I would hit the ball wrong, he'll go back. Look, you hit it wrong because you're trying to rush things. You're rushing that swing. Boy, just take the same smooth back swings, same smooth front swing. And every time, man, that ball will go far. And I noticed when I tried to hit that ball real hard, real fast, go faster than what was normal, the ball would go shorter. But when I would hit that ball super slow and just in sync, that ball will go so far. And I'm like, and God was like, that's just like in life, son. If you can just operate in the tempo that I gave you, in the lane that I gave you, you're going to win. That's the best round of golf I've ever had in my life. And I said, okay. I came back home and said, all right, I got to run my tempo. I got to run my business the way that I run it. Because I could look at people like, other people in my space, in the podcast space, and see they got 50,000, 100,000 views. I'm like, yo, I've been in this game for a long time. I only got 10,000 views on this video. What the heck? God said, run your tempo. Run your race. I'm like, okay.
So much peace in that.
I mean, bro, it brings so much peace to where I still subscribe to my boys and my friends who are in that space, but I don't watch their stuff. Not because I don't support it, it's just I don't want to get into my head that I gotta run their play.
Absolutely.
You know? And so I'm just like, God, I want to run my play. I want to help the people who you've called me to help, deliver the message that you've called me to deliver. And a huge part of that is literally what's on my shirt. It's really creating Black legacy. And we have a whole line coming out, you guys, and we'll talk more about that later on, but we have a whole line of merch coming out called the Redefinition Line. And we're just reshaping people's mindset when it comes to building their own table and building wealth. And I'm super excited about that because we're going to run our place. But, yo, we way over time, you guys. We are way over time, man. I don't know where God was taking us. I don't know what you can use from the last part of that. But my thing is, you guys, Course Careers is absolutely amazing. Check them out. We will put their information in today's show notes. Make sure you check them out. If you click the link that's attached, you will get a discount with that link down there. So check that out. Go to Course Careers. Man, we're going to also link Cyrus' video. I think that was a great video as well for y'all to go back to see the practicalness of what Cyrus did to get into the tech field and how it impacted him. So we'll link that in today's show notes as well. And we love you all. God bless you. And we'll see you on the next show. Peace out.